Julie, look who it is. It's one of our faves, Salena Zito. Now, first of all, Salena has a book coming out that everyone has to read. I cannot wait to read it. It's called Butler, Untold Story of the Near Assassination of Donald Trump, and it really is her untold story because she was there as it happened. And this is due out in July, Salena. Is that the story?
It is. It's due out in July, but I would happily encourage people to pre-order it now, mainly because it's a challenge when you are an author that doesn't live in New York and D.C., and booksellers are reluctant to carry your book because you're not, a D.C. reporter. And then that makes it like a cycle, and then your book doesn't get stocked.
Yeah, exactly. The D.C. reporters who are now cashing in on telling the story about how Joe Biden clearly was unfit to serve, but they didn't do their job when they were D.C. reporters to report on that story. Don't even get me started, Salena. There's so much else to talk to you about, but I do want to just follow up quickly on the book. The book is called Butler, The Untold Story of the Near Assassination of Donald Trump. A bullet whizzed by Donald Trump's skull within fractions of a centimeter of killing him. And yet yours is one of the only books that sort of really talks about this. There hasn't been much. Are you still sort of surprised that this story has not gotten much coverage, not least of which to find out more about the assassin himself?
It really is kind of shocking. So many things happened in that moment. I was, if your listeners don't know, I was only 4 feet away from him after a series of things that weren't supposed to happen at all that day. I ended up in the buffer, and I was going to fly to Bedminster with him after the rally. That's why I was there. Not how I started my day out, but that's why I was there. And he did 2 things that I've never seen him do before. He put a chart down, and I remember thinking, was he Ross Perot? What is going on here? Right? He never has a chart. And then he turns his head away. Now, if you've ever seen Trump at a rally, it's a very transactional relationship. So he never turns his neck away from them. He might turn his body away to look at different parts of the audience, but never turns away. And he does both simultaneously, and that's when I hear pop, pop, pop go over my head. And I saw the blood streak across his face. I saw him take himself down, and I'm still standing because I'm an idiot. And I see this sort of sea of navy blue go around him. And I can hear them talk, and I still have my recorder on. And so it's a really inside look, not only at what happened in those moments, but also the phone conversations and then the personal conversations he and I had after that. He called me the next morning. He said, Salena, are you okay? Is your daughter okay? Because she's a photojournalist and she was with me. And I kind of swore at the president and said, are you bleeping kidding me? You're the one that was shot. But, it's a really emotional, powerful book, not just with our conversations, but also I take the reader on the ground from that moment in Pennsylvania through the rest of the election, and things that people did not see happening with Harris, with Biden, and most importantly with the voters and with Trump.
Yes, just can't wait.
Salena, just to add on to what Larry was saying, we are in a sort of weird place right now as a country where, you're one of the only reporters really covering what happened in Butler and talking about it. And we have a media that doesn't really care. But now we have things like Taylor Lorenz sort of drooling over Luigi Mangione. You've got this horrible case of this young Black man killing a fellow white student, and he's raised nearly $300,000 in a GoFundMe. Not him, but someone has put up a GoFundMe, and people are giving tons of money to this. What is going on culturally that, and that, going back to Trump is nearly assassinated twice. There's even talk of this third attempt. And yet, is the media not interested in this? It just seems so cold. And again, these other examples that I've mentioned, I think it's a really bad place that we are culturally.
I think we are in a bad spot. I mean, look what just happened to my governor. I live in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Josh Shapiro. I mean, that guy got over and after you look at him and you think, how did this dude jump the fence, get in the governor's office, in the residence, and know where to set that fire? Because it was set right where he had Passover dinner. Just hours before, right? And the family has talked about since what happened with Shapiro that that he had unchecked mental illness. We know very little about the young man who shot and killed President Trump. The family lawyered up, and there's not been much at all in terms of there are things in the book you will find out that I've found out just in the closing months of last year, but still there's definitely not enough we know. And I just wonder if we have, as a result of decisions made in the 80s and 90s about how we treat those that have mental illness and sort of this increasing burst of people with mental illness. Also, look at our homeless population, right? All of those came all at the same time, and I think it's something that we really, really need to dive into. And I've been saying that for years.
Yes. Salena Zito is our guest. I want to keep you just for one more minute here because you were with the Secretary of Interior, Doug Burgum. A lot of people thought he might get energy because he does come from the oil and gas field with Drill Baby Drill. But what you're telling me, his message to Pennsylvanians and other parts of the interior is build, baby, build. Please extrapolate on that.
Sure. So the big boom that can come to the industrial Midwest and Appalachia is powering these AI data centers, which are going to require an enormous amount of energy that can only be supplied by natural gas, coal, and nuclear. Wind and solar are too irregular and don't just have the capacity to feed them. And so he was talking about, yes, drill, baby, drill, and mine, baby, mine, but we've got to build. He said it is imperative that we win the AI race.
We got to leave it there. Salena Zito, it's always great to talk with you. Don't be a stranger, especially as we have the ramp up towards your book release, but it is available for pre-sale now. And when Salena Zito sells her book, it makes her happy. And happy Salena is that's a good thing for everybody. Thanks, Salena.
Thank you. Thanks.